On this week's show, Peloton teams up with F1 for some classes, and Black Friday sales have begun.
Plus, the Peloton app now lets you pick between light mode and dark mode. The turkey burn classes have been announced, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and Chris Lewis.
Welcome to episode 246 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Chris Lewis himself. How are you, Chris?
Good. How are you doing, Amanda?
I'm good. Had a quick turnaround trip to the city. Got a 60-minute walk plus run in with the queen herself, Mariana. And dinner with my girls, and back in town in time to record the show. So
excellent. You're making getting the most value out of that $35 class fee there with that 60-minute class.
Right. I'm telling you. And the running joke with this whole class is that it loaded as a 60-minute walk. And I was so excited, and I was like, oh my God, Mariana's doing a 60-minute walk. I didn't even say anything to her about it. I was just excited. And of course, I then see it changes to a walk plus run. And I'm like messaging her going, WTF, what happened? She goes, you didn't really think that I was going to be doing a 60-minute walk, did you? So we had a good laugh about it. I did hope. She goes, I didn't even know what I would have said in 60 minutes. I said, well, you did it in a 60-minute walk plus run. Yeah. But it was tough. It was a tough class. But Speedwalker Amanda got through it quite nicely. And
nice.
It was a nice up and back, and got to see some friendly faces, and that's always fun to do. So you've had a good week?
Yep, it's been busy but good, and just getting back into the thick of things.
Feet back on the ground, right? For a month
or two.
Right. Between you and me, I don't know who's worse. I don't know whose feet are further off the ground.
Depends on the month, I think.
Yeah, mine's depend on the week. So I'm here for the weekend. All right, Chris. Well, as always, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you folks how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is recorded on our YouTube channel, or at least released on the YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
And we're also on all traditional podcast platforms. Just search for us at Pelo Buddy TV, and you can listen to us on any podcast network. And if you want to get early access to it, you can also check us out on Patreon. And if you become a subscriber, you can get access to the show a little bit early that way.
And no ads in your website viewing if you're looking at the articles there. So it's definitely worth it just for that, not to have those ads and get a full story. And of course, folks, we are on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right. Well, first up, we've all been waiting, and everyone has an opinion. Peloton's turkey burn classes, which are a long-standing tradition known for breaking records in 2023. They even crashed the servers due to its popularity, have finally been released. The Feast, a 45-minute full body strength class with 6 instructors, which is now in its second year, will in fact be back. And this year, they have added a new modality to the mix, row. But notably, Mr. Alex Toussaint is sitting this year out, and Kirsten Ferguson gets to fill some pretty big shoes as she takes to the tread to run with us Thanksgiving morning. The 2025 Turkey Burn class schedule is as follows, folks. There will now be 4 live classes this year. The day starts out with a 7:30 a.m. feast, or the feast, 45 minutes strength class featuring Adrian, Andy, Logan, Rad, Rebecca, and Tunde. It was definitely a huge attraction in the past, so I know that even that 7:30 a.m. time slot is not going to scare those that really want to get the full gamut of the classes for the day. At 9 a.m., Kirsten Ferguson will hit the tread with a 30-minute turkey burn run. Following that, at 10 a.m., Robin Arzan is back with the 45-minute turkey burn ride. And as mentioned, new this year will be a 20-minute turkey burn row with Ash Pryor at 11 a.m.
And just to clarify, that's the first time it's been live. They have had rows in the past for turkey burn, but that last year it was not one of the live classes for the row.
And with members. And I should have clarified that in the beginning. This is the first time it will have members, I believe. Last year there was a class, but no members.
It was on demand last year. It was
on demand. Yep. So this will be live with members in the studio. There will also be 3 classes dropping on demand at midnight, Thanksgiving Eve. The 20-minute Fit Family class with Jess Sims, plus a special guest yet to be announced. A 30-minute outdoor turkey trot with Matt Wilpers, and last but not least, a 10-minute outdoor post-meal walk with this year Marcel Dinkins will take us out there to kind of walk off that turkey feast. If you are in town and would like to be in any of the live classes, bookings did open for members this past Thursday, November the 13th at noon. And of course, all sessions will be available on demand after airing. And of course, the ones that are live will be on there live. So a full schedule. There was definitely opinion. Our very own Mr. John Pruitt had something to say about Alex T not being on the tread on Thanksgiving morning, but he's a very busy bee, which will fill you in coming up. So everybody needs to, kind of figure out what's right for them. And this year we are very fortunate to get Kirsten on the tread. And I know she's extremely excited about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe Alex is going to be that special guest with Jess Sims, and we'll still get to see him, just as a surprise. So we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, with Turkey Burn, that also means it's time for Black Friday sales, and Peloton sales have begun. If you were one of the existing members and you got that email at the beginning of October when the cross-training devices were announced, the good news is that these sales for Black Friday are not a deeper discount than what you received as an existing member, with the caveat of that the Black Friday sales do include a month of free all-access membership. So they are offering sales on every single device that they're offering. The cross-training bike is $300 off. The Bike Plus is $700 off. The Tread is $500 off. The Tread Plus is $1,200 off. And the Row is $200 off. And again, all of those do include a month of free all access as well. They are still selling the refurbished Bike and Bike Plus. Those are the non-cross-training ones, and those are $300 and $400 off. And if you bought it in the last couple of weeks and you didn't get that discount, you can reach out to Peloton and you can get them to easily price match that because they were doing the price match guarantee. This runs through December 1st right now, which is the day that Cyber Monday is. Some years in the past, they end up extending it a week to kind of go past Cyber Monday a little bit. But for right now, it's scheduled to go through December 1st only. Several of those same devices, the cross-training, are available on Amazon. And Amazon has price matched those deals. So if you want to get on Amazon, you can go that route. The one thing to note is that on Amazon, you would not get that one free month of all access membership. So we've got an article kind of with full details on that, as well as breaking down how it compared to last year's Black Friday and some of the sales before that. So you can check that out over on the website if you want to get a deeper dive into what these deals are for this year. But the good news for people who, bought it when the cross-training devices first came out is that they're not undercutting those immediately and kind of, giving existing members the middle finger with deeper discounts than what was available when it first launched.
Makes sense. That's kind of cool. And of course, guys, don't forget there is that assembly fee, that delivery and assembly fee that you will be responsible to pay for, in case anyone
You
forgets.
can go the IKEA route and do self-assembly, but if you want Peloton or somebody to put it together for you, that is required. And the Tread Plus does not give you that option. So if you get the Tread Plus, that $299 fee is required. The other ones are $150 each, and those are optional depending on if you want to, put it together yourself or not.
We're going to start seeing some specialized TaskRabbit guys
100%.
being these new Peloton assembly guides, right?
Yep.
For those of you in the UK or Australia that aren't familiar, that is a service that we have here, or maybe even Canada, that come out and kind of put your IKEA furniture together for you. So, or Wayfair. So we'll start seeing TaskRabbit being the next hottest thing instead of paying the $250 for your assembly.
Yep.
The TaskRabbit guy can come do it. All right. Well, this next one is kind of cool. Peloton, and this is kind of hot off the press. We just found out this week, announced it is the official fitness partner of the 2026 Formula One. No, 2025. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep thinking this is 2026. I don't know.
Yet.
I'm ahead of the game here. I don't know. I'm sorry, folks. But yeah, 2025 Formula One Heineken Las Vegas Grand Prix. That is going to take place just this week, November 20th through the 22nd. As part of this high-profile collaboration, Peloton will record some exclusive classes on site in Las Vegas and release them as part of the new IRL at F1 Las Vegas. They will be an on-demand class collection that folks will be able to go to, but members can sign up to be there live to take these classes, which will be recorded on Friday, November the 21st and Saturday, November the 22nd at the Awakening Theater, which is at the Wynn Las Vegas. And what did I do wrong? What did I say?
Nothing wrong, but I just want to clarify for anyone who might be wondering, like Peloton has had these sessions, like over the last year, lots of Peloton coaches have gone to Miami or they've gone to Utah and they've taught classes. But those classes have been just for the people who have been here. I just want to clarify that this is different and that the classes that they are going and recording here, they are going to be actual Peloton classes that you can take from home next week. So like these will be available for everyone at home to take. And that's something that's different with this collaboration, these classes they're recording. So I just wanted to make sure that was abundantly clear for everyone listening.
Well, and I think one step further, Chris, is that this particular series that they're putting out there will actually be rides. I don't believe they've ever had an off-studio ride club.
They have. They've had several of them. They're not very often, but in South Korea in 2018, Robin did the Olympics ride from South Korea. Cody Rigsby did his live from Los Angeles on the bike. And then when they did that was in 2021 when he was doing his Dancing with the Stars. And then in 2023, when they did the live from LA classes as the first part of Peloton on tour, that included a bike as well, I believe.
But members weren't able to be participating.
True. They were in South Korea.
Really? They had bikes for everybody in South Korea?
Yeah, there were bikes with people.
Those were the days when the company was worth quite a lot of money.
Yes.
And they could afford to do it.
Yes.
But anyway, thank you for the clarification, Chris Lewis, Mr. Pelo Buddy himself. He just wants to always keep me kind of in check.
No.
But this is for the first time in the US that members can actually join. So there does seem to be some discrepancy, though, on the booking site versus what we have gathered as to what is going to be offered. Alex Toussaint, who has a 30-minute ride on Friday, members can sign.
Just to clarify that these should be coming out the 24th and 25th. That Monday and Tuesday is when everyone will end up being able to take them. So they're recording them a little bit earlier, and they're not going to be live.
Not live.
So look for them that Monday and Tuesday. So
booking accessibility. So that about 40, however many people will, I can't remember exactly how many slots there were for each class, but I don't think we really would know that. But members who live in Las Vegas or who will be in Las Vegas for the F1 were able to sign up and actually be there live with the instructors. So we got Alex on Friday and Emma Lovewell on Saturday, also with a 30-minute class, as well as a 20-minute strength core class. From what we're understanding,
And there is also a Bex Gentry run as well
Bex will
that's
also
going to be.
Don't take my story from me. I'm doing a good job here.
You're doing great.
I'm doing great. Bex will also be doing a 30-minute run, which we'll record on Saturday, but we don't think this includes members. So if I'm, I think just getting trends out there probably is too much of a big deal. There were, as I said, just limited spots that members could attend in person, and the cost was $50 per ticket, which did include a post-class photo op with the instructor. Spots were capped at one class per person to maximize participation. So if you kind of got into the Alex class, you were kind of locked out of trying to get into the core class, the strength class, or the, Emma's bike class. So, be aware of that. Additionally, new senior classes will allow Peloton members to virtually run or ride the Las Vegas Strip Circuit, which is 3.8 miles, 17 turns, using the Peloton bike or the tread. So those will then drop that folks will be able to actually do them at home, like looking, one of those kind of like that scenic that we're used to, but it'll be of the strip and I guess the course. The collaboration does also serve as a promotional platform for Peloton's cross-training series, with major advertising placements at the race, including signage on the track and the Las Vegas Sphere. So a huge coup for Peloton, no question. This is a hugely attended event. I mean, they couldn't have asked for anything better. And I know they're really making a big deal of this, as they should. So huge kudos to them for that.
Yeah, and this also explains why a month or so ago we saw the instructors pop up at the F1 race in Texas. That makes a little more sense now, saying this, that might have been a trial run and just, meeting people and getting set for this bigger collaboration this month.
Which is why Chris posted it as the picture on last week, on last week's Pelo Buddy episode, to kind of give you guys an Easter egg that we knew what was coming. Right, Chris? Because you knew, you had that clairvoyant. But that's why, folks.
Well, in other news, when the cross-training devices in Peloton IQ rolled out in October, one change that a lot of people happened to notice was that the Peloton app changed from having a light theme to a dark theme, and a lot of people had feelings on that. Some people loved it, some people disliked it. A lot of people thought, why don't you just give us a choice? And when it first rolled out, there was no option to toggle between them. This week, that new feature is rolling out to allow you to pick your app theme. So you can now go to your settings area, and there is a new option for change app theme. If you're on an Android, you can just pick between dark mode and light mode. If you're on iOS, you have those two same choices, but you'll have a third one for device setting, so that the app will follow whatever your system and your phone is set to and automatically change back and forth. So not everyone has that at the time we're recording this. It seems like it's going to be hopefully not too slow of a rollout, but gradually coming to people's different devices. You might need to update your app to get the latest version, but there also might be a switch they need to turn on the back end to enable it on everyone's devices. But if you didn't like the dark mode, good news, a new choice is coming soon to let you toggle that to whichever you prefer.
Yeah, I did just update my app, and it did give me the option as soon as I updated the app. So hopefully with iOS, that is just the option that you guys have to do that. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of didn't mind either way, but it was kind of nice to have it back in white.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a new 365-day daily workout streak badge, that was a mouthful, celebrating users who've exercised every day for a full year, has been released. Unlike previous badge updates, this new badge has been automatically and retroactively awarded to anyone who met the milestone in the past. No action is required. Previously, Peloton's longest streak badge was 60 days. In March, they added 75, 100, and 250-day badges, but those were not retroactive at the time. This new one-year badge fulfills a promise teased in their March update. Peloton current Peloton daily streak badges 3, 5, 7, 10, 20, 30, 45, 60, 65, 75, 100, 205, and now 365 days. You can view your earned badges under the Achievements tab in the Peloton app or web. So if you are like me, who makes sure that she gets in her meditation, if she's not getting in a workout, you will have that new update.
Yeah, well, in other news of things that are coming soon, Emma Lovewell has a new program on the way. We shared that over the past couple months, Emma has kind of been teasing that, but she hadn't really said what that program was going to be. We now know that is going to be the third installment of her popular Crush Your Core program. During the earnings call the other week, Peter Stern kind of wrapped up the recording by teasing people, and he said, coming soon, Emma Lovewell will release her third installment of her popular Crush Your Core program. So he didn't say exactly when, but you have to assume it's probably going to be this quarter since he was teasing it. So hopefully by the end of the year, that new program from Emma will be available, the third version of Crush Your Core.
Nice. All right. Well, don't miss out on the final installment of Tea Time with Cody. Well, not quite the final, as he shared that there would be one more drop in the installment, but you can get to ride as world-renowned chef Rosemary Schrager tries to educate Cody on all things British food. The 20-minute ride dropped on demand on Wednesday, November the 12th at midnight Eastern Time. The ride started with a 2-minute intro of banter between Cody and Rosemary. Then it flowed into the ride that Cody did out of PSL with a boy band playlist. We then got towards the end of that ride a look at some of the cuisine that the British folks get to offer, like black pudding or spotted dick, which of course Cody got a nice laugh out of having to say. But I think Cody will stick to his hamburger and fries. He was not a fan of British cuisine, but of course had us all, rolling in laughter just with his whole antics and how he goes on. But I know that folks that were in the studio had a ton of fun with him there, and it was kind of fun to see him in the kitchen with Rosemary.
Yeah, keep an eye out for one more of those probably this upcoming week to get that final installment of those two.
Nice.
And then another new thing that we've had is we've got a new collection added. It's called Core Strength with a Foam Roller. At this point, there are 5 classes in that collection, and they're all taught by Robin Arzon right now. But those have been released over the course of the last year. They are just in the strength section, and they are just titled Core Strength. But now you can find this Core Strength with a Foam Roller collection and take these 10 to 20-minute classes that are core strength, but you're using a foam roller.
And Peloton announced the grand finale of its Armada Music Live DJ residency with 2 exclusive classes featuring renowned DJs Lily Palmer and Armin van Buuren. These special sessions mark the climax of a series that began in April and previously included artists like Artie and D.O.D. The final classes aired on Monday, November the 10th. There was a 30-minute live DJ run with Adrian Williams that featured Lily Palmer at noon Eastern Time, and a 30-minute live DJ ride with Jess King featuring Armin van Buuren at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Members who take the classes will earn an Artist Series badge. Peloton's collaboration with Armada Music has delivered high-energy workouts with globally recognized electronic artists, reinforcing their strategy to blend fitness with entertainment, and have been very much welcomed by the community. So a ton of fun definitely was had in those classes.
And then this week's artist series featured Anastacia, and beyond just featuring her, she actually showed up at Peloton Studios London. She was in the 2-for-1 class with Charlotte and Hannah, and in addition, DJ Bimini was in that class as well. So both DJ Bimini and Anastacia were in the studio live as Charlotte and Hannah taught that class with members. In addition, Anastacia recorded a lot of social content with some of the other instructors. The Charlotte and Hannah class was the one class that was in English. All of the other classes were in German, but there was a walk and run with Mila. There was a ride with Benny. There was Pilates with Mila, yoga flow with Nico, and then a core strength with Eric. And again, like I said, many of those instructors have fun social posts of them and Anastacia kind of doing some behind the scenes and previews of the classes with her. So you can check those out on the various social media channels and then find all the artist series classes in the artist series collection.
Nice. I do really love that they do, they're doing this slowly but surely, rolling out these artists that get to come actually into the studio as well as the DJ stuff. It just adds a different dynamic to, what could be a boring workout into something a little bit more fun. So I really like that. All right, well, a new German language cycling program titled Cycling with Charlotte Weidenbach dropped. This 1-week program is designed to improve endurance, speed, and bike technique, but modeled after Charlotte's personal training week. The program includes 6 classes and offers a custom badge if you complete at least 5 of them. It is part of Peloton program's version 3.0, meaning you can take the classes in any order at your own pace. They're no longer locked by day. The class schedule is as follows. Day 1 gives you a 5-minute intro warm-up ride and a 20-minute rock ride. Day 2, you get a 10-minute post-ride stretch. Day 3 is a 30-minute climb ride. Day 4, a 20-minute recovery ride. And the program ends with a 45-minute techno ride on day 6. All classes are, in fact, taught by Charlotte Weidenbach and were made available from November the 7th. So if you are interested, go check those out in programs.
Yeah, and then Peloton honored Veterans Day this year with several special classes. There were 2 that were on-demand drops overnight, and that was a row with Matt and a walk with Selena. And then they had 3 different strength classes that were live that day. There was a strength with Logan, a ride with Christine, and a run with Marcel Dinkins. And even though Veterans Day was on a Tuesday and not normally a day that there are members in studio, all 3 of those live classes did end up having veterans in there. They had been invited to the studio by Peloton and they were invite-only classes, so they got to take those classes live and then be part of those recordings. So those are now available on demand as well. And then Peloton also shared that earlier in the year, and I believe it was in April or May, they had members of the U.S. Navy attend a class. It was a run with Alex Toussaint, and that was part of their partnership with USO. And you can find a little video clip highlighting that on the Peloton Studios Instagram if you want to see more behind the scenes of that class from earlier this year.
It was very cool. Very, very cool. Well, we like to share with you each week the This Week at Peloton program. For week starting November the 10th, we got a brand new 10-minute daily meditation for gratitude from Anna Greenberg. Next up, Jess Sims dropped a Sims 60 pop bike bootcamp on Tuesday, November the 11th. Olivia Armada had a 30-minute new tracks walk yesterday, Saturday the 15th at 7:30 a.m. And last but not least, Logan Aldridge had a 20-minute Just Tabata live cardio class today at 8 a.m. So that was This Week at Peloton.
Yeah, and then we shared last month that Robin Arzon had a new apparel collection that she helped design that was available on Peloton Apparel, and that was part 1 of the drop. And then this past week we saw part 2 of the drop, and this was more the futuristic side of the drop. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's available on Peloton Apparel, and you can go see the new items in that collection.
All right. And a very happy birthday to Aditi Shah, who celebrated her birthday last Monday, November the 10th. From all of us here at Pelo Buddy, happy birthday. And I guess, Chris, we are going to go right into Instructor in the News.
All right. Well, our first story, we shared in the past that Sam Yo had teased that he was working on a book, and we now have the tentative release date for that. The book has now shown up on Amazon and is available to pre-order. And as of right now, it is scheduled to be released on May 19th of next year. And it also has a full title for the book. According to this, it's going to be called The Monk's Mindset, Finding Stillness in a World That Won't Stop Moving. And it says it's going to be about 350 pages long, and it's teased as a practical approach to both mindfulness and fitness, merging physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. The one caveat I will put to this is that this is information provided by the publisher to Amazon, and with it still being about 6 months from the publication date, there's a chance that could shift a little bit. The page count could change, or they adjust the bio and teaser. So that is all subject to change, but that's what's been provided to Amazon. But you can pre-order that now and look for it around May 19th of next year for Sam Yo's book.
Of course, Sam Yo wrote a book. I mean, just another one. Well, Callie Gullickson, talking about books, is going on a 6-city US book tour to celebrate the release of her debut book, Mocktail Hour, 70 Sips for Anytime Delights and Hangover-Free Nights. The book launches on December the 9th and can be pre-ordered on Amazon. The tour kicks off December the 6th and includes events described as the ultimate mocktail hour experience, except for Jersey City, which will be a classic meet and greet. The book tour dates are as follows: Jupiter, Florida, December the 6th, from 1 to 3 p.m. It is at the rooftop event deck at Harborside Place. Jersey City, New Jersey is on December the 8th at 7 p.m. This one is at World Bookstore. New York City, December the 9th at 6 to 9 p.m. This one will be at Crowne Plaza, Midtown. Crowne Plaza in Midtown. I think there's something HY36. I'm not sure what that stands for. And then there will be a Washington DC stop December the 11th at 2 to 4 p.m. That'll be at the hotel also known as Alexandria. Austin, Texas gets her on December the 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. That will be at Hotel Zaza. And last but not least, Orange County, California will get Callie on December the 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Pasea Hotel and Spa. An additional Peloton Studios New York event may be announced. We do not have any of that information yet. And I do want to just add, talking about Callie's book, I was fortunate enough to get to go this past week to see Hannah come to DC, and she had her book signing at which was very interesting. We didn't really share where she would, I guess we didn't really share in past shows where she was doing them, but she's been using the Architessa, which is a tile manufacturing or tile showroom. And it's the tile that she used in her renovation that she shared, and she collaborated with them on using their spaces to do some of her book launches, which was really kind of cool and fun. A really nice evening. You got to have her sign her book and take a picture with her. And I went this past Tuesday, and really huge shout out. Hannah put a lot of work into her book tour with a ton of stops. And it really was. I mean, I went to 2 of them, so it was really fun to have gotten and been attending in that.
Nice. Well, it is a busy week and a couple weeks of events for Peloton instructors. There is an event in Dallas, Texas, and that is going to be as part of their Hyrox partnership. So there's a Hyrox event in Dallas the 21st through 23rd this upcoming weekend. But just before that, on Thursday the 20th, they are going to have they're calling it the Power Up. And it's going to feature Robin Arzon, Andy Spear, and Adrian Williams will all be there. The event, there's going to be a 20-minute mobility class that one of the instructors will lead. There's going to be a 2-mile shakeout run that the instructors will be involved with. There's going to be a talk and some coaching and strategy and tips for the race that weekend. And then there's going to be a post-workout DJ mixer and mingle. The event is free, and there, at the time we're recording, there still are spots available. So if you're going to be in Dallas for the event, or even if you're just in Dallas and not doing the event, that's going to be on Thursday the 20th, and we've got a link to RSVP to attend if you want to do that High Rocks event. And it is free, but you do have to sign up. So if you're interested, be sure to check that out.
Well, Peloton definitely did tease that there would be lots of events for us to get to meet and greet the instructors out in the wild. And they have definitely kept up that bargain. As Chris spoke about High Rocks, we also have 3 meets and greets that are going to be happening this coming week. Kirsten Ferguson, Rebecca Kennedy, and Andy Spear will host meet and greet events at Peloton's new micro stores, those showrooms that are located in select malls across the US. Next week and the first week of December, and are part of Peloton's strategy to shift from traditional retail stores to these smaller micro stores, mall kiosk-like showrooms. The event schedule is as follows. Andy Spear will be in my backyard at Tyson's Corner in Virginia on Tuesday, November the 18th, from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern, while Rebecca Kennedy will be in Natick, Massachusetts. Then on December the 8th, from 5 to 8 p.m., Kirsten Ferguson will be at the Short Hills Mall in New Jersey. Registration is also free, but is required, and attendees must reserve a 60-minute time slot within the event window. Each event does include a photo op with the instructor, a tour and demo of the Peloton IQ and cross-training hardware, and a promotion of Peloton's new tech-forward retail strategy.
And I will say, in the past, when they've done these events, there's no guarantee this will happen, but they have had events like this during Black Friday sales in years past. And sometimes if you order during the store, they will offer you an extra $50 or $100 beyond what the Black Friday public offer is. So if you're going and considering, you might be able to get a slightly better deal than what's available on the website online. Again, no guarantee, and the first of these doesn't happen until a couple days from now. But if you're considering going, that might be something to keep in mind. And then Peloton has shared that they will have their final run clubs of the year this upcoming week. They're going to have these are the in-person run clubs they've been doing monthly from both New York and London. They're going to be on Wednesday, November 19th in New York. It's going to be Rad Lopez leading the event. And then in London, it's going to be Susie Chan and John Hosking. And they have shared that this is the final of the year. So don't look for these in December when it's going to be even colder out. But there are still spots available for these. So if you want to go run with Rad in New York or Susie and John in London, be sure to sign up and go check out those events. And then they should be back at the start of 2026 as more monthly events.
Super. And last but not least, wow. Leanne was recently on an absolutely incredible podcast called Just As Well with Gemma Atkinson and Women's Health Editor-in-Chief Claire Sanderson. I took the liberty, or the advantage, I should rather say, of watching the podcast on my drive back from New York. And when you drive a Tesla, you can watch and drive at the same time. One fortunate advantage of having a car that drives itself. It was
not an official recommendation by us, by the way.
I had my hand on the wheel. You have to, it shouts at you if you don't. But anyway, I did get to watch, and it was an hour long. So it was a pretty intense podcast. I loved that it was on YouTube because you got to see Leanne actually talk. I do prefer being able, and that's why, folks, I know some of you, will listen to this on the go and on one of the podcast platforms, but we are on YouTube as well. And it's fun to get to see Chris and me. I mean, seriously. No, don't say anything, Chris. Okay.
I was just going to say, I feel like the podcast captures my good side.
All right.
But
and this week, I've got that color thing going. It's next week, and I'm not even going to be here to show off the good blonde next week since I'll be in London. But anyway, back to Leanne and the amazing podcast. So Leanne really, wow, she just went into everything. She spoke about, right from the start, how she started with Peloton. Claire Sanderson has ridden with her post-pandemic, or pre-pandemic, I should say. Sorry, pre-pandemic. She got her bike right before pandemic, so has really been riding with her for 5 years and has gotten to know her quite well and been live in classes. The other host, Gemma, was really not familiar with Peloton, and had very little knowledge of Peloton, and was amazing to see how she was so captivated by what the platform had to offer, which was really cool to get to see, like kind of this virgin person not knowing anything about Peloton. But Leanne did go on to share, how obviously she got started, and being sought after by Cody, and then coming to New York, and her relationship with Ben, and the fun we all had over lockdown, where they were sharing their small apartment and kind of moving the things. And then she really she got so personal and honest and raw in sharing her, horrendous year of 2022, talking about, which she has not spoken publicly before, of her miscarriage that she had at the beginning of 2022, before her friend Danielle, suddenly passed away, and her diagnosis of her breast cancer. So that was something that was, really moving to get to hear her share that, and then obviously talk about her cancer diagnosis, and then go into her IVF journey this past year in using the embryos that she had frozen, pre her cancer treatment. And now, of course, we're just, weeks away from her and Ben delivering their baby. So I have recommended podcasts to you guys in the past. This one is just a must. I mean, it's no secret how I feel about Leanne. She's always been very special and is just the most incredible human being. And getting to really hear her share the story is wonderful. So I do highly recommend you guys to take the time. It is an hour, but if you can, and especially in these cold days now, for those of us living here on the East Coast in the UK and the Northern Hemisphere, definitely take the opportunity to sit with a cup of tea and get to watch her chat with Gemma and Claire. And
as always, if we do have links to that
Yes.
directly in the show notes. If you want to have an easy way, you can head over to Pelo Buddy website, find the show notes for this article, and we'll have a direct link to that interview on YouTube for you to find.
Love that. All right, folks. Well, that does wrap up the instructor in the news. We will go right into class picks of the week. And why don't you, Chris, kick it off?
All right. Well, our first pick this week was Dennis Morden and the 20-minute The Who Yoga Flow. That was from November 6th, overnight release from Almajar 3, who said love flowing to Baba O'Reilly. Then we had Benny Adami and the 30-minute Low Impact Ride in German. That was also from November 6th. That was at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. This came to us from Almajar 3, who said fun 90s playlist. And then Ash Pryor had her 20-minute countdown to Turkey Burn Row. That was the week 1, day 5 installment from November 7th at midnight. This came to us from Gwen Gets 2 and Mother of Kovacs, who said, I'm so glad they're including row content in the countdown to Turkey Burn. This row from Ash was a challenging combination of long, moderate efforts, plus a long, challenging push at the end.
Nice. And then we move on to Sam Yo. He had his 30-minute The Who ride. This was also from November the 7th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It came to us from Mary F1 on. They said Sam's rock rides are always great, and this had a great playlist. Then we went on to Aditi Shah's 30-minute yoga flow. This was from November the 8th. It was a midnight drop, came to us from our faithful Amajah 3. And Amanda said this had great form cues, so was super helpful. And then Nico Sarani had a 30-minute ambient yoga flow. It was in English, folks. So if you are not familiar taking yoga with Nico, this is a great opportunity to jump into this class. It was from November the 9th, also a midnight drop. It came to us from Gwen Gets 2. They said this was a pretty challenging class, but the chill music set a calm and relaxed tone. It was a good combination.
And then Chelsea Jackson Roberts had a 30-minute advanced beginner pop yoga flow from November 9th. This came to us from Amajar 3, who said this ended with standing poses for a nice challenge. Then Andy Spear had a 30-minute countdown to turkey burn full body strength. This was week 2, day 1 from November 10th at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. This was submitted by Just Dance Lisa, who said Andy has been doing a great job building the structure of these countdown classes. And then Adrian Williams had the 30-minute live DJ run. This was the Armada Music one with Lily Palmer, and that was on November 10th at noon Eastern. This came to us from Lair Wood, who said, so awesome, so much great energy.
And rounding up this week's Picks of the Week, we had Jess King's 30-minute live DJ ride. This was with Armand van Buren. It was also from November the 10th at 7 p.m. Came to us from Just Dance Lisa, and they said, awesome experience, felt like a throwback old school class. Christine Derklay's 30-minute Veterans Day ride from November the 11th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, came to us from Abby Klein, and they said just a good, solid ride from Christine in this one. And last but not least was Robin Arzan. She had a 30-minute pop ride, also from the 11th. It was a midnight drop. It was a noon drop, 12 noon. It came to us from Lance Ride, and they said, nice out of saddle work during this one. And I do want to throw a huge shout out to Amajar 3. Amanda is definitely our faithful Picks of the Week sharer. And we are so grateful that you do share those, great classes that you've taken. But folks, this is an opportunity for you to, get a shout out here on the show by Chris or myself and get to share some of the classes that you've experienced. So whilst we absolutely love the fact that we get Amanda's recommendations, I know that folks used to moan when John and I used to give our recommendations, which were very typical. So if you want to get, a wider spectrum of some of the classes that are out there, definitely share those with us. We love to get them. And I believe, Chris, you put that out on a Wednesday
afternoon or evening on our Instagram stories is the main way we do it. And that's open till Thursday morning-ish, or you can just send us an email, find the contact page on the Pelo Buddy website. And on Wednesday, just shoot us an email and send in your picks that way. And we combine them all together. Or you can send us a DM on any platform, really. But the main thing is we take those submissions on Wednesday so we can get them ready in time to get the list together to record the show.
Right. Hence kind of Thursday to Wednesday is what the class selections are, even though we put the show out on a Sunday. So that is awesome. All right. Well, look at us, Chris. 46 minutes. I mean,
not too bad.
You can see that it wasn't Holly or Jamie who sit and chat the whole way through. Chris is very much about business. We get business done. And
sorry. Yeah, it is what it is.
He did have to conform to my schedule this week. So I do appreciate you being flexible and getting to do it well, you know what? You are just as bad as I am as far as traveling goes. So I guess we have to conform with each other's. But we thank Chris Giles, who will now have to edit this show and fix it for us. And of course, Rich, who does the sound on the weekend. So we appreciate them doing that. But as always, folks, we do like to thank you for tuning in, for taking the time to listen. I got a really nice, warm feeling. Mariana shared with me that she was so appreciative of the lovely shout out I gave her last week 2 weeks ago, on her Us Weekly Spanish article. And I did take the time to translate it into English so that I could really give you guys a nice overview of what the article was about. And it was really lovely when an instructor takes the time to listen to what we put out there and then come back with feedback and tell us whether they enjoyed that or not. So, we, as always, Mariana, appreciate you being such an ally of our show and what we do for you guys, because ultimately it is for them. It is, for the platform and for them. So it is very much appreciated. And I knew you'd enjoy that, Chris. So I wanted to share that with you. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, we're going to wrap it up. And as always, we will see you next time. So for me here in Maryland, bye for now, everybody.
And from me here in Atlanta, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see everyone next time. Bye.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag. And don't forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available. Just search for Pelo Buddy wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.